I want to take a moment, thank you for your time, and most importantly, give you a preview of what you can expect from episode number 1 of the Growth Creator Model, where you get to access our methodology of selling infrastructures, building and releasing solutions instead of remaining commoditized service providers in 2024. I don't know about you guys, but there is a problem with the current marketplace. There is an oversupply of people selling solutions, but the demand for these solutions is not keeping up with this supply. What ends up happening is us as service providers, us as people who sell solutions to business problems, then we're stuck competing with each other. And when you're competing with 1,000 other people selling the same service as you, whether that be YouTube, content, short form, lead gen, paid ads, funnels, email, name the mechanism, name the acquisition channel, name whatever, there is 100 other people doing it, pitching the same person that you're trying to pitch. What would give you the power, the pricing power, to be able to charge enough money to be able to afford the things that you want to be able to afford in your life? You probably want to live in a penthouse. You probably want to be driving a Porsche. Those things are luxury items. They're expensive. And the reason why they're expensive is because they're scarce, okay? You want to live in a penthouse? There's only 4 units of penthouses in any residential building. Only 4. But there are a lot of 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and the prices are pretty average. It's the same thing happening with the current supply, with the current service market. There's a bunch of people selling the same thing, 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 1 bedroom, and it's an average pricing. What we want to do, because since we want to live in a penthouse, is we want penthouse pricing. We want $15,000 a month. We want $20,000 a month, okay? So, because I know that we are all working hard so we can live instead of working hard so we can be slaves, I had to figure out a solution in 2021 when I was making $30,000 a month, stuck as a slave in my own business. Even though that was $30,000 a month, I was making $30K a year with the year before. Even though I was able to take it from $30K a year to $30K a month, I still felt it was a feeling of disappointment. I had been excited to become an entrepreneur. I had spent the hours in the basement learning, hours and hours and hours, months and months and months without seeing any result. And finally, I had figured out how to make $30,000 a month. And I still felt disappointed of my success, primarily because I was still a slave in my own business. Not because the money wasn't good, because the effort to the money I was making were equal. I was making good money, but I was working insane amount of hours and it wasn't fun. And I was like, how is Berkshire Hathaway making billions and billions of dollars every quarter? That doesn't make sense. So I had to just go deep into learning strategic insights from different businesses. And I figured out that in order for me to scale, I need to sell something where my time is not involved, where in order for me to get paid, it's not dependent on how much work I put in. So I started building and releasing the appointment setting infrastructures instead of doing appointment setting for businesses. And that took me from $30K a month to over $600,000 a month and making over $400,000 in profit in a single month, okay? Now, I don't know about you guys, but to go from $30K a month to $400,000 in profit, net take home, you don't do it because you worked 10 times harder. You do it because you're leveraged. So in episode number 1, I'm gonna be giving you guys a breakdown of the offer that I built in order to generate over $5 million in cash collected in 20 months from selling infrastructures. I'm gonna be also breaking down how I believe Gym Launch leveraged this model to build an MRR of over $1.6 million every single month. That's not including the money that we're making from their programs. And you guys are gonna have a lot of fun. And if you are a service provider who wanna change your life, instead of remaining someone who makes more money than the average population, but you're still a slave to your business, okay, this message is for you. You who's making good money, but you know that you're still a slave to your business, okay? If you wanna change that, then please spend the next 2 hours learning and paying attention to everything I'm gonna share. Offers, pricing, acquisition models, all these things I'm gonna be breaking down for you. I'm gonna even be sharing the guarantees to sell, to offer to your prospects in order for them to make it a no-brainer for them not to buy your infrastructure, okay? If you want to have access to these episodes once they've been taken down, I will invite you to join the Natural Born Leader community. I shared the 178-page doc that I used for this presentation. I shared access to all the Lucy chart, all the flywheels, all the models that are presented in the training, okay? And most importantly, I did a breakdown of the top performing build and release offers and the top performing verticals and niches that you can sell infrastructures into. And that's all based from the partners that we have. And lastly, if you join the Natural Born Leader community, once a week, I'll jump on a call with you and you can ask as many questions as you have around selling infrastructures, and I will be happy to give you the support that you need in order to get to the point where you're making multiple 6 figures, 7 figures a year, and eventually we get to partner together. But that moment is still in the future. For now, take your time and watch episode number 1. I promise you that it can change your life. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you guys thought of episode number 1. Ciao.
All right. So I launched this challenge. I started thinking about the challenge when I was in Spain a few, I think 2 months ago now, because there is a new trend happening in the marketplace. I'm sure maybe you guys have noticed it. Maybe put a comment in the chat where it's a lot harder to scale companies, especially marketing offers, than it was in 2020, 2021, and 2022. Okay. Now, why is that? Well, one is because there is insane levels of competition compared to before. The second thing is the market has become insanely educated, meaning the brands that you're pitching, the SaaS companies that you're pitching, the agencies that you're pitching, the coaches that you're pitching, the consultants that you're pitching, the local businesses, the solar people, the home remodeling businesses, they're consuming the same content that you're consuming. So when you go to pitch them a service like, hey, we'll get you with leads, we'll get you more appointments, they're like, hey, I've already read $100 million leads by Hormozi, so I actually know more than you do, right? So it's getting harder and harder. And the more competition there is in an industry, then there starts this thing, which is called the race to the bottom. Everybody starts being like, oh, I'll book you 100 calls or you don't pay. Guys, if you're on this call today, that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to go the other way around. We're going to go charge the most amount of money, deliver the most amount of value, and be the businesses that the niche would rather go to spend insane amounts of money with when they're being pitched in their cold emails on the ads to get the outcome that they want for free. Okay. Now, the whole thesis around what I'm about to share with you guys today we're going to start with going over the offer, right? Because I believe that for me, nothing changed for me until I started selling something completely different from what everyone else was selling. And I thought that would be the most important thing for me to start the 5 days with. So for everyone who's here, my goal is that by the end of today's presentation, you guys have the offer that you guys can take and scale to 100 grand a month. And if you become really good at operations and maybe acquire the best talent, you can get to a point where you're making multiple 6 figures per month. Okay. But I promise you that this offer that I'm about, or it's not an offer. I'm not going to give you guys an offer. I'm just going to show you guys how to position your services and what you give, the value you give to people, so that you never have to compete on pricing. You never have to worry about people saying no to what you're selling them. Okay. This is going to be a 5-day process. Today, we're going to talk about offer. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about audience. Before I even talk about how to get leads, how to get appointments, how to get deals, I'm going to talk about audience creation. In case you guys have not noticed, the person who's making more money than you guys is not making more money because they're better at ads, right? If ads was the key thing, then everybody would just have no need to create content. Everybody would just be spending money on ads and everybody would be making millions. But most people are not. Okay. So tomorrow is going to talk about audience. Day 3, we're going to talk about the client acquisition infrastructure. I'm going to show you guys how we go about getting leads, how we go about structuring our appointment setting process, how we go about the sales process, the sales. I'm not going to go too much into the sales script because I think that's a detail. You guys can just hire closers. And then day 4, we're going to talk about operations and fulfillment. So Let's get started. Yeah, so today we have a lot to go over. So let's get started. So this is the Growth Creator Challenge. A growth creator to me means someone who's leveraged and someone who delivers the most amount of value to the marketplace while still being leveraged. I realize that you don't scale unless you acquire leverage, right? I'm sure someone on this call knows how to run better Facebook ads than me, but you're not going to make more money than me. Why? Because I have access to more leverage than you. Okay. And I'm going to be sharing the story of how I went from being a commoditized and overworked growth agency owner, making $30,000 per month, to scaling past 600 grand in a single month in 20 months by leveraging this model, which essentially is the path to being leveraged AF. Okay. For those who don't know me, my name is Serge Gatari. I founded Client Acquisition at IO, I believe in summer of 2021. So we're 2 years in with CA. And this was my P&L from December 2022. This was our biggest month back then. 600 grand revenue, 465K collected, 267 profit on cash collected, and 424 grand on revenue, the profit. Okay. So the 4 levers that helped me go from 30K a month to 250K profit per month. The purpose of this 5-day challenge is to provide you with the clarity you need to jump from where you need to, where you are currently to where you need to be. Okay. Leopold, can you just stop writing stuff on the screen? So right now, some of you guys, this training is not going to be like, okay, how do you go from 0 to 10K a month? Although if you model the offer I'm going to share today, you could literally go out there and just make 10K a month with 2 clients from just having the right offer. But today I'm going to be talking to the people who have experience, but who are stuck in the same position. In order for you to go from this situation to where you're making 100 grand profit a month or more, you need to introduce these 4 components and you need to dial them out. Okay. If you take action on everything I'll show in the next 5 days, growth will be inevitable. Most of you guys are probably stuck in this flywheel, which I'll be covering later on. And the goal is, how can we take you guys from here, where you guys are in a slavery flywheel, where you're just making enough money just to afford staying in the game, but you're not actually accessing freedom. Okay. And my goal is to introduce this growth creator flywheel, which has allowed me to scale client acquisition at IO. Okay. Briefly, who am I? My name is Serge. I was born in Rwanda. So for those who don't know, I'm right now, I live currently in Canada, Montreal, but I actually moved to Canada when I was 13. I was not born here. So these are my 3 brothers. So I have 3 brothers, older brothers. We're all boys. So that's we have it's not a big issue, but I think we did fine. I'm the youngest one here. As you guys can see, I knew I would be doing challenges, so I was ready for the camera. So that's that. Now, so fast forward, went to school, moved to Canada with my brothers, and went to high school, then went to college. But then in college, I didn't drop out of school. I know a lot of people say, oh, drop out of school, but I didn't necessarily intend on dropping out of school. Just one semester ended, and I got an opportunity to go door knocking. And the guy who was door knocking was driving a Porsche at like 23 years old. And he was making at least 6 figures a month. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I want to do that. Okay. So I dropped everything. I didn't drop everything. We were in the holidays. So I went door knocking, and I started selling door to door during winter. Right. But the issue with selling door to door in Canada is that it's super hard. And I was selling like high ticket products like HVAC, and it's super, super complex to sell. And you would go knock on 100, 200 doors a day, and you would expect that one person would let you in their home, and you could introduce the benefits of having solar. Okay. Or no, not solar, but change their heating system and everything like that. Right. I didn't last in that industry because I didn't enjoy the fact that you would go to people and sell them a $10,000 product and charge them 10% interest every year, which ends up over 7 years or 10 years being double the cost. So I was like, I don't want to scam people. So I just dropped out of that opportunity. Then I went into insurance. This is something that I haven't really shared, but I actually got my license to sell insurance. But then I realized that they were just trying to hire me to go and sell my family and people like that. I was like, man, my friends are like 20, 22. who needs insurance? Nobody needs insurance. So my network, my audience didn't need what I had to sell. So I also dropped out of here. Then what I ended up doing after is I went and got a job at this e-commerce called Good Food, right? They ended up scaling in like 3 years, 4 years, maybe to like $500 million in revenue every year. So they were making like 400, 500 million, especially during COVID. And then, as you guys can see, I'm the guy here on the right, and this was a team. I was part of like the the I was part of the customer service department, and I was probably part of the first like 25, 30 people in this department, and they ended up scaling it. Gilles, do you know how big they got eventually? The different departments for, or how many employees they got after that?
Yeah, we got up to around 4 to 5 thousand employees across everybody, like all of
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah. So seeing the growth of this organization really like, because it wasn't like a traditional like a corporate type of vibe. It was really like, it was chill. You guys could, had your own laptops and you guys would just work on it. And the vibes were really cool. But what I really did learn from them was what's possible if you jump into the right opportunities. So yeah, it was a great time for me. I worked there for 2 years, but while working there, I was using every paycheck to buy online courses. We all saw Iman Gadzhi's ads. We all saw Sam Oven's ads. We saw all these ads around how to start on businesses online. And Amazon FBA bought it, didn't have capital to buy inventory, so didn't go with that. Drop shipping, I did it. I launched some ads, got like 2 sales. The first sale I ever got was like $19. I was at the gym and I was like, it's over for all these people. It's over for all the brokies in the gym. I just made $19 while squatting. And I was like, oh my God, this is what life feels like. But I couldn't replicate that same success after spending like $400. I was like, you know what? Never mind. This is not it. And then I started the agency. I went through Iman Consult Agency Navigator. But even with that, although he was great at showing you great cameras and like great setting, he was wearing a really nice shirt. I just didn't know how to get appointments. So I was like, okay, cool. I know how to set up an ads manager, but how do I actually sell this thing? So I couldn't. So, and then the next thing is I went into a consulting accelerator by Sam Ovens. But even that, Sam was like, send 40 outreaches per day on Facebook. I was like, come on, man, what are you talking about? And I failed miserably at seeing any real success. So I decided to quit. So I started buying courses maybe in like 2019, right? And then up to June 2020, I hadn't seen any real success. So I was like, I had promised myself that, you know what, in April, I'm going to quit. Then April came around. Then May came around. Then June came around. Then I was like, okay, come on, man, you're a joke at this point, right? So, but one of the things that the CEO of Good Food told me, one of the founders, he said, be naive enough to believe your dreams can become a reality. Okay. And when someone who's built a multiple nine-figure business tells you to be naive, you go naive. Okay. You go all the way. So I ended up realizing that even though I had 0 clients, my thought process was that trying to earn 2K a month and 30K a year on my 9 to 5 was keeping me from earning 30K per month. So I had the courage to quit. For everyone who's here, who's wondering why you're not making 30 grand a month, why you're not making 300 grand a month, is because the way you're allocating your time dictates the outcome of your life, especially in business. If you're making 5K a month, if you're struggling to make 2K a month, trust me, it's because most of your time you're spending it doing things that have no value. Okay. So I was like, you know what? I'm spending the same 24 hours. I know this guy's spending the same 24 hours, but making 300 grand a month. So I decided to quit and I went all in. I had 0 clients. I know a lot of people tell you, oh, you should quit only when you have clients. But I was like, I was done with it. Okay. And I knew I was smart enough to be able to bet on myself. And this was, I think, back in 2019. I used to read a lot of books, Napoleon Hill, all that good stuff. And, every morning I would write, hey, I own an online business by the time I'm 20 or before I'm 21, right? I will have an online business before I'm 21. I promise it to myself. That's a big fact. I'll lose and invest everything to achieve this goal. So this was, I think, around 2019. Okay. And I ended up quitting when I was 22. So technically I had no business up until I was 22. And this was before I was 21, guys. Okay. So it doesn't mean that just because you're desiring the goal is going to happen on your own timeline, but the goal is you should keep desiring the goal and keep chipping at it until you get it. Okay. September of 2020 is when I signed my first client. So I think a few months after quitting my job. And no amount of money has ever made me feel as happy and accomplished as this $4,000. Like making $500,000 in a month is nothing compared to the feeling of this. Do you know how good it feels to go from writing down before you go to bed that you're going to own a business to getting a stranger on a call, showing them how you can help their business and getting them to wire you their hard-earned money and they don't even know you? That thing felt like it was magic. It's been a minute since I've read the Alchemy book, but like I literally felt like I was converting nothing into money, right? I was like, what the hell did I just do? And if you've ever done this, please don't ever forget that being able to get strangers to pay you is an amazing skill, right? So don't ever like disregard just because you're not making $1 million, think that you're not good. You're super talented if you've been able to accomplish it. Okay. That year, even though I got my first client, I didn't really make much money. I made 12 grand that year in business, which was better than nothing, but it wasn't nothing to really go crazy about, right? So like if I do 12 grand in like 4 or 5 months, it doesn't really mean that much. Okay. And then January of 2021, I made almost the same amount of money that I did in the last 4 or 5 months of running my agency in the first month. And I sent this to my aunt. I was like, hey, I just did this in 40 days. Do you still want me to go to school? She was like, yes, of course. I was like, okay, never mind. Okay. And this was when I launched an appointment setting offer. Okay. And I'm going to tell you guys about this later on because this is super, super important. 4 months later, I did 30K a month. This is where the chaos started. And this is what the topic of today is going to be. Okay. I love to talk about this and making 10K a month, but we're going to talk about this here. Okay. 2021 ended up making almost over 400 grand for sure, because some money was on Stripe, some other ones on PayPal. But 17 months later, we went from a 400 grand, 450 grand a year to $500,000 in a month. And I want to share with you guys how to accomplish this transformation, because this transformation is not doable if you're just doing the work, if you're just running ads for people, if you're just setting appointments for people. You actually got to become a different type of leader. Okay. And the impact of scale. So taking my business from nothing to multiple 7 figures has allowed me to create some of the best memories for myself, my family, and my team. This is where I work from now. So I went from the basement here at my uncle's to a $2.7 million penthouse. Now, the reason why I moved into this penthouse, just to give you some background, is because the guy who owns it actually bought it for his son to go to school. Okay. And I've said this before, but for me, that was disrespectful. Okay. I'm out here grinding, hustling, and this guy's buying a $2.7 million penthouse for his son to go to school. I was like, come on, man, I got to step my game up. So I just got it. Pretty expensive, could probably be doing more, but I work hard. I sacrifice my life, for this business. So if you ever work hard as most entrepreneurs do, make sure you're working out of a place that you would love, because your time on this planet, you can't experience it more. So never be like, oh, I want to get a 10K a month penthouse when I'm making $1 million a month. Okay, so what? Like, your life is more important than the money. Okay. So I highly suggest you guys experience the life that you want, but don't go overboard. Like, this is a business expense, or have some of it. Okay. So I don't necessarily, be smart as long as it gets you away from taxes. Okay. And then, so this summer we went to Spain. We've been going to Spain every summer with the team and clients. I bought my dad this Rolex. I don't have a Rolex personally, but he did a lot for me. He brought me to Canada. So I think it would be normal for me to make sure that he's rocking a $20,000 something watch. We've been going to Spain every year. This was the year before. This was this year. I brought some clients over. We had an amazing time. Jet skis are fun. And then, so this villa, by the way, if you guys want to go next year, I highly suggest you guys join me. This is the team: Bell, Reg, Isa, Sharks, aka Superstars. And yeah. Now, experiencing the difference in living between 10K a month. Let's say right now you're making 10K, 20K, 30K per month. Okay. The difference in living between here and here made me realize that there's no point in running a business if your goal is not to scale past $1 million a year profit. Okay. The pain and time required to run a small company is not worth it. You end up sacrificing the most important gift you have, which is presence. And this is why, and I'm going to explain why presence is so important, but I've committed the new company's mission to be to give as many entrepreneurs a purpose, then provide them with the insights, the infrastructure they need to fulfill their potential as fast as humanly possible so they can get to experience and enjoy life's greatest gift, time. Okay. Because I know a lot of maybe people you guys may look up to. It's like the game is business and life is business. But my goal is like, no, get to business, become good, own the infrastructure, and start living. Like we're not meant to be just people running after money every day. That's not what we're put on this earth for, right? So your goal is not to be like, oh, I'm going to take 10 years to build $1 million a year business. Are you crazy? You're going to spend a decade trying to chase a goal that can be achieved in like 2 years, right? Do not waste your time, right? And this is one of our core value. And I think this could be a good thing for you guys. So speed is time and time is life. Create the mechanisms that allow the fastest transformations for our clients. The most important resource, the only resource we can't get more of is time. And client acquisition that I use North Star is figuring out how to give people more of it through our insights and infrastructures, which allows them to experience their dreams sooner, allowing them to be more present sooner. We can't give someone more time, but we can help them be more present sooner. And presence is the ultimate gift. Okay. Everyone on this call is wanting to make money. Everybody, before they go to bed, they're like, oh, I want to make 10K a month. I want to make 100 grand a month. Oh, I can't buy that Porsche. Oh, I can't buy my mom this home. I want to, oh, I have to pay this bill. I have to do this. Oh, a car breaks down. You're worried about money. That's just stealing from your presence, from your present. You can't be present because you're always worried about tomorrow. For me, that's the thing that I hate the most. If I'm with someone that I love, I want to be able to be present. I don't want to think about payroll. I don't want to think about closing deals. I don't want to care about how much rent is. I just want to be present. Okay. And if you guys ever follow me, this is what I care about. I don't really, if we ever meet in person, this is something you'll notice about me. I don't want to talk about business because business is just a vehicle. I don't really care. It's like it's like child's play to me. It's a great game. It's a great thing to keep you busy and to give you a mission. But the goal is, are you present when you're with someone that you care about? Or even when you're alone? Are you always worried about the future? If you are, then let's get rich, okay? And let's afford to be present. So today's training will be the most valuable for people who are tired of being a slave to your business. So that means every single thing. Clients get onboarded, you have to worry about it. Clients need a refund, you have to worry about it. You need to get calls, you have to worry about it. You need to close deals, you have to worry about it. Clients need strategy, you have to worry about it. If that's you, then I'm sorry, but you're a slave to your business. You just have a job, okay? This is going to be also good for you if you're starting if you want to start delivering better and faster results and become the leading expert in your industry. If you're tired of being a commodity, if you're tired of getting on a sales call and someone being like, oh, but I just spoke to this guy from Pakistan and he's charging me $200 for a website or for Facebook ad or to book appointments. Why are you charging me $5,000? Right? If that's you, then let's stop that. Okay. And if you're tired of feeling like you need 100 clients to make 100K per month, then this is going to be super good for you. It's going to be good for you if you're sick of seeing people just like you earning 10x to 100x more money than you every month in the same industry as you. If you're finally ready to be a superstar, entrepreneur, leader, and founder you were born to be. I want to show you guys this quick win with Oliver, who we have today. I'm actually going to be introducing him today. But this is a guy who's also from Montreal. He joined GCP, which is our main flagship kind of like partner / support program. He joined July 14th And that month he did 30K a month in revenue. And last month, so 2 months later, he did 77 grand in revenue. Okay. Now, the goal of today's call is this thing that he said here. The craziest part is that it was 100 times more work to achieve 30K in July than it was to hit 75K. During that month, we onboarded 16 new clients. It was an absolute nightmare to manage. This month, we only signed 6. So he went from 60 clients at 30K a month. So he was offering like some consulting for $500. And then we helped him create a new offer, which is a higher ticket. And he got 6 clients and made 77 grand in revenue, which is, it means that he doubled his revenue from 10% of the clients. So imagine doing 10% less work, but making twice as much money. And here is, one of our clients, Alex, asked, hey, what's the biggest reason that helped you the most to get better results compared to July? Would you say it's the offer, the niche, or something else? 100% because of the new offer. We used to charge $500 for coaching services aimed at beginners. It was pretty much impossible to scale 40 to 50K unless we built a huge team, which would have been horrible. Also, working with more sophisticated, established clients has made it easier to deliver results because they can actually afford to invest in hiring and systems. Okay. And yeah, so this is what I'm going to be going over today. And then I'm also going to be interviewing Oliver. So you guys are going to get a good chat out of it. Okay. So before we get started, turn off all electronics, use airplane mode, close all tabs when joining the next 5 days. Don't be distracted. I believe the next 5 days have the potential to change lives, but I need help creating more awareness. So I'm going to ask you guys for one thing. We have over 282 people attending today. Just take a pic of this challenge, tag me on Instagram, tag me on clientacquisition.io, tag my page on the company, and then I'll reshare you guys at the end of today, and then I'll be sending you guys an amazing gift if you guys do it. Okay. So just put more awareness to this because I got some amazing things to share today. Okay. And also take notes, and most importantly, block time on your calendar for execution, because today is not going to be just learning. I actually want you guys that as you learn, one exercise that I like to do is I like to block out time on my calendar the next day. Okay. So I would block out from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., implement on everything learned from day one of the challenge as an example. The faster the growth comes from your rate of learning, but also rate of change. So if you're not changing as fast as you're learning, you're going to be stuck in the same position, asking yourself why you're still where you're at. Okay. For those who want to have the recording and the assets that are going to be shared, this Google Doc and everything like that, you can get the VIP ticket on Friday. We're going to also be spending some time together, and I can do Q&A. Okay. And for those who have bought the VIP already, we're going to send you guys an email with the link to the form for you guys to fill out your questions. Okay. So please check the email. We're going to be sending it in the next few days or few hours, and then you guys can fill out your questions there. Okay. Now, what will the next 5 days look like? 100K a month to 200K, 3 mil a month offers. So this is what I'm going to be talking about today. How to create offers that make it unreasonable for your market not to experience success. And day 2 is going to be 500K a month audience creation framework. How to stop selling and start being desired. Day 3 is going to be 500K a month leverage client acquisition infrastructure. I'm going to break down our funnel. And then 1 mil in 90 days fulfillment infrastructure. I'm going to show you guys how to be leveraged in your fulfillment. And then day 5, we're going to talk, we're going to have a $5 million Q&A. And then for VIP ticket holders, you guys are going to be joining me. And then we're also going to be breaking down a lot of things. Okay. Okay. Now, this part is going to be so I had created this training without this part, but then last night after coming, I went to see this movie. I went to see The Creator, which is a good movie about AI. I think if you guys haven't checked that out, go check it out. And I needed a simple way that I could explain what we're about to cover today and over the next few days. And I know everyone here talks about leverage, right? But I don't think people have explained it as well as I'm about to. Okay. And you guys can rate me on how I'm about to explain this, but I think this is about to be the best explanation around leverage that you guys have ever gotten. Okay. Who's ready for me to explain leverage? Just put it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Let me know. Drop it in the chat because I'm about to break down some leverage and then it's going to be sick. Okay, cool. So before I explain leverage, so the word leverage is derived from the noun lever. Levers have been used for a long time. The term lever in science is used to describe an arrangement where input effort is magnified by certain times so as to produce higher output force to lift the load. Okay, so essentially, leverage or a lever and fulcrum are meant to magnify the inputs. Okay, you put in the same effort, you get more out of it. And I'm sure you guys have heard of Warren Buffett say, it doesn't matter how hard you row, it matters which boat you get in. Okay, but it's not about the boat, it's about how much leverage you have in that boat. Okay, and the reason why I want to talk about leverage is because there's two ways of running a business. You're someone who's been doing the same thing. Okay, you're working hard every day, you're pushing, you're at the end of the week, Saturday, Friday, you're like, I'm so dead, I work so hard. Okay, but when you look at the revenue of your company, you're like, well, it stays the same, or it's medium growth. Maybe you're growing 10-20% a month, and you're like, what the hell is going on? When you're seeing others go from literally making 30K a month to 300K a month in like 6 to 12 months. That's what I want to talk about. And in order for me to explain it, I need you guys to understand leverage, because until you understand leverage, nothing else matters. So let's go over the explanation. Okay. Second, I'm trying to find it. Trying to find this bad boy. Okay, and then also some of you guys will be able to access this because there's going to be some good stuff here. All right, cool. So I've built a lot of like different models that you guys can access at some point when you guys check this out. Owning attention, content roadmap. I'm going to be sharing this later during the next few days. Okay, so check this out. We all know leverage, right? So you have a ton here, you put in effort, you can lift a ton, right? But in order for you to lift, let's say $1 million or to produce $1 million alone, you cannot do it alone. Okay, you need leverage, and leverage is made up of a lever and fulcrum. Okay, now here is what most people do in their business. They're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna put in effort. Now, what is effort? What can effort be made out of? Effort can be made out of your time being put into the thing. It can be outreach, like how much outreach are you doing? Or it can be how much money are you putting in? Now, most people don't understand. They're like, it doesn't matter if you're even a millionaire. You only have so much money you have to invest in the actual system, right? Outreach, you can only do so much outreach. Hours of work, you only have so much hours in a day, right? So if you have no lever or fulcrum, no leverage, then the amount of load, the amount of revenue you're going to be able to get out of your effort is going to be capped. Why? Because this times 1 equals 1. If I put in a certain amount of effort, a certain amount of money that it is just going to be, let's say it's 1 input, I get 1 output back, then I'm going to make 10K per month. So if you're stuck at 10K per month, don't worry. It's not your fault. It's just that you have no leverage. Okay. Now, in order for you guys to go to this, okay, because this is where we're trying to go. We're all trying to make millions every year. If you're not trying to make millions every year, then you're going to be, there's no point in running a business because it's just too painful. Now, most people think that even when you're trying to make this type of money, that you don't have that the efforts is infinitely higher. That's not really it. It's just that the same efforts are being pushed into a lever and a fulcrum that magnify the efforts. Okay. And over the next 5 days, this is all I'm going to focus on. My goal is to show you, how do you get the most leverage out of your offer? How do you get an audience, which is the next lever you should pull? And how do you get the most leverage from your acquisition? And how do you get the most leverage from your fulfillment? Because if you times, even if it's just your same 8 hours of work per day, times the right offer, gives you infinitely more from the same effort. So as an example, let's say someone is doing 200 outreach per day, right? Or spending $200 per day on ads. It doesn't matter. Not everyone is going to be able to do 200 hours per day. Not everyone is going to be able to spend $200 per day. But if you take one person who's doing it and they don't have a really build a great build and release offer on the front end, then they're going to end up booking, let's say 10 calls per day, or not 10 calls per day, but let's say they're going to book 10 calls per week, right? And from these 10 calls per week, the person who has the most leverage on their offer is going to close what? 3 and 4 clients out of the same calls. And the person who has a shitty offer, who has no leverage in their offer, is going to be like, oh, I just booked 10 calls. I didn't close anyone, right? You need to get your offer leveraged AF, okay? And this is the thing I want you guys to do. Don't worry too much about the inputs. Worry about the lever that you pull, or that your efforts that magnify your efforts, okay? I did not get here from working harder. I just asked myself, okay, how can I build the best offer, get the audience, get the acquisition, get the fulfillment, so that when I work 8 hours a day, 5 hours a day, 4 hours a day, I mean, to be honest, I was working like 20 hours a week when I was doing these numbers, right? So I had the most amount of leverage. So I want everyone here to understand that this is the thing you need to work on. You need to work on getting your lever and fulcrum dialed in, okay? And over the next 5 days, we're going to be talking about this. So let's go back to here. All right, cool. Now, how do you get your offer to be leveraged? It's simple. Make it unreasonable for your prospects not to experience success, and you'll be rewarded infinitely. I'm about to walk you guys through how one offer accidentally made me my first 100K a month, the build and release offer structure, and how Jim Launch leveraged this same offer structure to generate $46 million in profit in 3 years. By the way, props to Hormozy. Like, doing $46 million in profit take home in 3 years is insane, right? And how you guys can apply this offer to e-com, SaaS, sales, appointment setting, coaching, consulting, whichever niche you guys are in. At the end of this today, you'll know how to create the offer that will get you to your first 100K a month. If done right, you only need 3 to 4 months to pull it off, okay? And so let's go through it. Now, before I go over the offer structure, I want to show you guys the current issue with most businesses. And it doesn't matter. I'm talking about agencies and consultancies, but this also works for coaches, by the way, okay? And here is the issue. The current flywheel that most people go through, or most people who've started a business because they went through courses, they were told, oh, sell Facebook ad, sell appointment setting, sell funnel building, sell Facebook ad, sell short form content, all these commoditized services, okay? And what ends up happening is when you bring an offer to the market that is commoditized, you get a low closing rate. You only solve one obstacle for that prospect, and you're just doing it like everyone else. So then, therefore, you get to only charge low ticket prices. When you charge low ticket prices, you have no leverage because you can only afford to pay yourself and your contractor. So you can't afford superstar talent. Now, if you don't have superstar talent, guess what? Then you get average results for your clients, or you just don't get them results whatsoever. Well, what happens then is you have an insane churn rate. Now, since you can't retain your clients, your lifetime value per client is pretty shit. Now you can't afford to acquire clients, and you can't afford to retain anybody. So now every single thing you do, you're just working hard only to stay in the same position. Who here is currently feeling like all they're doing is just running around chasing clients only to get a little bit of money? You get excited, but then after that, you're just back in the same position a month later. Who here has experienced this flywheel where it's like you're just working hard getting the clients, but nothing is really happening, right? In the beginning, it's all sunshine and rainbow, right? Because you have one contractor and profiting 50% of your 3K a month retainer, or your whatever 5K program sale. Then you start investing in acquisition, lead gen, appointment setting, sales, and that takes 50% of your monthly retainer, sometimes even 100%. But you're hopeful to be profitable on month 2 and month 3. But then you realize that you can't deliver consistently to your clients because of other problems in their businesses. Maybe your client's business model is messed up. Their pricing model is shit. They can't sell. They can't get people to show up. They can't fulfill. So now you have the following options to solve these. Option 1, hire other experts and contractors. Well, if you do that, then you will have no more profit left because you're only making 3K per client. Option 2 is the client leaves. Well, you spent a lot on acquisition, on acquiring the client now, right? So that means that you weren't profitable on month one. So now if the client churns, then you also are left in the same position where you have what? No profit from that client. So both options actually lead you to not making any money. So most people will just double down on marketing and acquiring more clients to replace the old one that they just lost. And over time, your niche becomes more and more resistant to your offer. It gets super hard or expensive to get prospects on sales calls. And when you do, they start comparing you to others, which leads you to charging way little money. Okay. If you've experienced this today, then today's your lucky day. I'll make sure you never experience this pain. Now, let me go over how one offer accidentally made my first 100K a month. Lesson number one. Okay. This will come to those who are kind of like stuck, who haven't figured out the right thing to sell, or haven't made their first 6-figure plus month. No, not month, but like a year. Only sell and position your offer as a cure to a problem that is unavoidable. What do I mean by this? I see a lot of people who are doing things like, oh, I'm going to sell AI. I'm going to sell websites. I'm going to sell some weird shit, right? Just like a convenience offer. You guys will not be able to scale as fast unless you change your offer or you change the solution, the problem you're solving. The reason why I went from making 12K a month, no, 12K in a year to making 10K the following month is because I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop selling Facebook ad to coaches and consultants because they're just annoying. They don't even have the budget for ads. I'm going to sell appointment setting and I'm going to do it organically. I'm going to do it through outbound. Back then, not many people were pushing outbound. So it was a novel thing. Well, novel, it's not, that's in context, but not many people were doing outreach. Okay. So I spent 1 year struggling to go through courses and courses to try to get a single client to buy my Facebook ad without really knowing the reason why someone would want to run ads. So the reason why I was struggling to sell Facebook ad is not necessarily because Facebook ad don't work, is because I didn't understand how to go about pitching and positioning the offer. So I knew service level reasons like, oh, ads will make you more money, right? And this is what kept me from experiencing my first 10K a month. In 2020, I made the decision to stop selling ads and sold appointment setting, not because it was trendy, but because I experienced the pain and the doubts that came from having an empty calendar. I had felt the pain. I knew the real pain. So when I was selling it, I was like, hey, bro, I know you're struggling. You can't get calls. So it's like, you're either going to pay or you're going to stay in the same position, just complaining and dying and doubting that you can even scale your own business, right? So I offered an affordable solution to the market. 45 days later, I hit my first 10K per month, right? So this is the first thing. Sell the thing. And for everyone here, I think appointments is still a good thing to sell. Everybody wants more appointments. So if you guys are, if you're anyone who's growth agency, growth consultant, you better figure out a way to build infrastructures to help people book calls. Okay. Because that's the thing that really scaled the hell out of my business. Okay. Now, the next thing that I also had was churn. I was losing every client, right? So I would acquire clients, but they would churn after a month or two. Now, inputs multiplied by 0 is 0. It doesn't matter how hard you work and how many clients you acquire. If they're all churning, you don't have a business, right? While running my appointment setting agency in 2021, doing around 30K per month, I had a big problem. My clients, most clients would churn after 30 to 60 days, not because I couldn't deliver results, but because of other problems like they had really shitty offers. Their sales process was not good. The scripts was not good. So it led me to every week, I had to go run after new clients, book calls, take calls, close deals, onboard clients, create strategy, and launch campaigns. And I would experience low margins because I wasn't charging high enough anyway. And I would also not be able to hire better talent who could take care of client success and also helping me close, also head up systems, run operations. So I started feeling like I had given up one treadmill, right? Which was the 30K a year job, for a more glorified treadmill. So I was in a rat race, but this rat race is just more glorified. Who here feels like they're just running a glorified rat race? Yes, you are running your own business, but you're actually even in a crazier, even worse rat race because now you have to do everything to stay in the same position, right? And for me, it didn't sit with me right, especially as I started seeing people left and right generating 100K a month to 500K a month, I was like, come on, are you kidding me? I'm working every day. I'm getting the clients, I'm closing the deals. But how is someone else making 300 grand a month in the same industry as me? I couldn't understand how. And I was working as hard as I could to make 30K a month and couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I had no ideas as to how I would scale to 100K per month, right? Comment in the chat. Who here is currently in this position? I'd love to see who here is in this position where they figure out that offer, something that the market wants. You're getting calls, you're closing deals, but you're still at the end of the month, no matter how creative you get, no matter how many pieces of content you get, no matter how many ad spend you put out, you're just running twice as fast to stay in the same position. I think in Alice Wonderland, there is this quote that says, in this world, you have to run twice as fast to stay in the same position. Most businesses exactly like that, right? Cool, perfect. So today, that's really my goal. It's like, how can we stop being crazy hard work? Because I'm sure Warren Buffett makes like $19 billion profit from Berkshire Hathaway. And they have like a team of like, I think they're like less than 50 people. Can you please guys explain to me that? How are we, the service providers, grinding every day, helping people get the attention, helping people get the content, helping people book the calls, helping people close the deals, and we can't even scale past 50K per month? And some guy is making $19 billion in 90 days. Doesn't that like trigger something that's a little like, for me, when I hear that, it pisses me off, right? And that's where you need to actually question your beliefs. What are you doing running around trying to just get appointments? What are you doing trying to just close a deal on a retainer basis, right? Why? So for me, I had to question what I was doing, right? And I figured it out by mistake, okay? And this is something that I want you guys to understand. The presentation I'm giving you to you guys, like in hindsight, I did a good move, but I didn't necessarily know why I was doing it. For me, the thing that triggered me to change, what led me to going from an appointment setting agency to client acquisition.io, was one thing and one thing only. It was client results. I couldn't handle generating calls and have them not closed or not being able to generate calls for my clients because of the following. They were selling bad offers and bad services, and they were pitching niches that were super competitive, right? The market, like I had clients who were selling Facebook ad. I was like, oh my God, what's going on with this offer? People had become numb to that messaging, especially in e-com, right? So that was the first problem I had with my clients. It wasn't appointment setting. It was people do not want your offer. And sorry, is it cool if I curse in this live? Do you guys not mind if I curse?
Please.
Okay, cool. I was fucking tired of fucking Facebook ads. Okay. And then the next thing is the agency clients I had, they had no sales assets online to warm up and educate the prospects before sales calls. They were just out there be like, oh, I'm going to do cold email. I'm going to do Instagram outreach. I'm going to do cold calls. I'm like, listen, brother. Listen, sister. They don't know you. They don't trust you. Why would they give you money? Okay. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, if you can't close cold audiences, yeah, right. Like, shut the fuck up. You think you can go to the street and just try to close someone for 5K a month, for 10, 15 grand a month, or for 15 grand up front, and they don't have any education prior? You're crazy. Everybody out there is like, oh yeah, you need to close cold audiences. Guys, you cannot close a cold audience, because in order for someone to transact with you, they need to believe in what you believe. How can you get a cold person to believe without even talking to them? You don't. So let's not try to cheat code the game. Let's just follow the rules, right? So my clients, I was like, guys, if we don't create assets online, we're messed up. We're going to be broke, okay? And then the last thing is they couldn't close deals, okay? So instead of complaining about these problems, I was like, oh my God, I just figured out how to become a millionaire. I decided to solve the problems, okay? And I created client acquisition.io. Client acquisition.io was created from the perspective of, you know what? Instead of me just trying to just be an appointment setter. I'm gonna stop being just a regular commoditized. Imagine if I was an appointment setting agency today. Oh my God. Oh my God. I would probably just go back to working a 9 to 5, right? Because now it's even worse than it was before. The competition is insane. So what I did is I literally said, hey, I'm gonna go from 30K a month, I'm gonna go back down to $14,000 a month, right? Why did I do that? Because I was like, I'm gonna spend the time researching, becoming smarter, building infrastructures, building SOPs, documenting the best offers, the best niches, the best sales process, the best outreach channel, the best sales scripts. And then I built the $500,000 program, right? A lot of people think the $500,000 program was a course. It was not a fucking course. Yes, the way we transferred knowledge was through pre-recorded material, but that was not the goal. For me was I needed to solve every single thing that my clients were struggling with. And I ended up coming up with like $50 million a month TikTok agency offers. I ended up starting with short form content offers, right? And the issue though is I didn't want to be a coaching company due to the high competition. I didn't just want to be like, oh, come to me to make your first 10K a month, or come to me to make your first 50K a month, and I'm gonna just give you a coaching program with like 3 Google Docs. No, that was not me. So what I wanted to do is, okay, how can I be different from everybody else? So I merged done for you and consulting and created a build and release model, right? And the reason why I got this insight is because I'm sure you guys know this guy called Dr. Connor Robertson. Robertson. Who knows him on Facebook? Put it in the chat if you know the Connor Robertson. So back then, I was making 30K a month, okay? And they were making 150K a month, selling a build and release acquisition system with cold email, right? I was like, wait a minute. So you guys are selling something for 5K and you guys are just building it once and then releasing it into a company and you guys are making 150K. And then most of the delivery is done by like a team that is like not necessarily that expensive. I was like, interesting. Now, I didn't just do the cold email system. Instead, I would do even more. I would analyze the company's offer, and based on data that we have, based on the trends that we were seeing, we would either improve their current offer or we would build a new offer. And then one of the best case study that we got was Amar, who went from running a Facebook ad agency. The most he had ever made was 20K a month with his I think Facebook. Then he did Snapchat ads. We said, hey man, stop any of that. Just start this TikTok agency. We're seeing a lot of trend in UGC. And in 7 weeks, he built a 60K a month agency. 7 weeks, guys, right? And then the next thing we did is we'd build their outbound campaign and we would place a trained setter in their company instead of managing the setter internally, okay? And then the next thing we do is we'd implement our sales process, scripts, systems in their company. And we went from just being a regular one service, one solution, one trick pony, I think that's what they say, one service company, to being specialized, building a specialized build and release offer. You would literally come to us and be like, hey, I want to be like baptized with success. And we would give you the offer, we would give you the outreach, we would give you the setter, and then we will build your systems, and then you would just go on and just implement. That means that the only thing you would really you would do is just let us do our thing, let us guide you. And this led to every prospect who saw our offer to literally feel bad not buying our service. Okay? I started selling it at I think 4K, 5K. But due to the high demand, I started increasing the price. I needed to optimize for the right price and the right volume. This is the big mistake a lot of you guys make. You guys think that just because you can charge high ticket, that you should keep charging like 15 grand. It doesn't make sense. You need to find the right middle ground. Because if you're charging 15K, but you're only closing 5 clients a month, which ends up being 75K, I think. But you could put it at 10K and maybe sell 20 clients. Now you just made 200 grand. Okay. You need to find the right price for the right volume. You also don't want to be super expensive because Serge said, go fucking expensive. No, Find the right middle ground where the volume is also good with the price. Okay. And the same people, and this is the funniest thing, the same people who are complaining about my $1,250, $1,500 done for your appointment setting and done for your agency pricing were comfortable doing what? Paying $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 up front, even up to 15 grand. I had people from India, and this is where I knew like this build and release offer is insane. I had kids from India, guys. Like, and the reason why I say India is I'm not saying it's not like in India. I love India. I need to go there. I need to book. I'll tell my assistant to book a flight to India after this call if I can. But guys, do you know what it means to spend 10 grand and you're from India? It's ridiculous. Even when I quit my job, I was living in Canada. You couldn't have sold me a 2 grand offer, 4 grand offer, right? I was cheap. I was scared, right? But this build and release offer was the positioning was so great that they were like, you know what, Serge? I'm going to sell my dad's car. Let's work. Or I'm going to get my family to give me the loan. Okay. And that's how we ended up collecting like ridiculous amounts of money, right? So from 1.5K to 10K offer. Now, it's good to have the offer, but like why? What is the inherent reason why people are willing to pay 10 grand when they were complaining about 1.5? Here is the thing, and I want you guys to pay attention. People buy results, not the process. And people want results when? Now. Selling your offer with the defined end allows you to 2 to 5x your price because your prospect is the most excited and willing to spend to experience the outcome. Let me make this clear. If right now you're selling a service and you're like, oh, this is a 12-month service, this is a 6-month service, blah, 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 cut the bullshit. Be like, hey, you're going to pay me in 90 days. Our goal is to get you this outcome. If you set a specific end for your offer and you do it fast enough, what it does is when the person is in their mind, they're like, oh, okay, so I could pay an agency 2.5K a month. And then they're going to take 3 weeks to set up their ads manager. They're going to start spending money in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But you're telling me that if I paid you 10 grand up front, 15 grand up front, 25 grand up front, that I could get the thing that will create the success in my business in the first 2 weeks, what do you think that does to someone? It changes their perspective entirely around pricing because they're like, okay, I could spend 6 months to try to get to 50K a month, or I could just pay you 10 grand and I could get the thing that creates the outcome in 4 weeks. People buy right there and then. Okay. So it's super important for you guys to understand that. Okay. So that changed everything. So, and here's the process. The build and release offer for our clients was people would pay an invoice. In 48 hours, they would have a proven offer. In 7 to 10 days, a team of trained appointment setters taking care of generating attention, leads, and appointments would be placed in their company. In 15 to 30 days, we would have them close their first deals. All they had to do is pay the invoice, allow me and my team to build a 50K a month infrastructure, and they just focused on closing deals. Even though this was a 4-month process, the infrastructure, the value, and the results had to be delivered in 2 to 4 weeks. If you ever work with us, this is something you'll notice. Our program right now is like 4 to 6 months, but we're not going to take 6 months to get you to money. Like we want the money by day 10. By day 5, we want leads and appointments to start flowing in. So what you're paying for, you're not paying for 6 months. You're actually just paying for faster results. The 6 months is just for us to be there because once you start making a lot more money, you'll have bigger problems than just making money. Okay. And I believe that no one till this day has built the infrastructure like we have at clientacquisition.io, making it easy for agencies and consultancies to scale. It takes operational excellence, in my opinion, to pull off what we've been able to do effortlessly. Okay. Day 4, I'm actually going to go over fulfillment, right? Now, what is the impact of the build and release offer for our business? So here's the thing. I'm going to show you guys real quick. The first thing was no one could easily replicate our offer, which meant we stopped being a commodity, which meant we started pricing way more than what most people would charge for the same, I guess, outcome. 45 days after launching the offer, we went from 15K a month to 70K a month. The same transformation that I showed you guys where, if you guys look at this, Oliver went from 30K a month to 70K a month in 60 days from 6 clients instead of 60 people, right? And the same thing happened. When I launched it, I went from like 30K a month, the most I had ever made, to $108,000 a month. But look at the profit, $76,000 in profit, guys. Right? That's like 70% plus, right? I went from 15K to 70K a month in two months because I was delivering the most amount of value that people could ever see on the marketplace. And I didn't have that big of a brand back then. 70% profits people could afford to remove, and I could afford to remove myself from the most important areas of my business. I stopped selling, so I stopped closing deals myself. I stopped onboarding people, clients. I stopped consulting mainly. I stopped building systems, and the profitability continued up to like 500K, right? If you look at this, 622 grand and 424K. If we did the math, 400. I don't know the math, right? But let's try to do 420K divided by 622,000. It's still 60% margins at 600 grand a month. Do you know who makes this type of profit even in the coaching space? Most people, to make 400 grand a profit, they actually need to be making like $1.5 million a month, right? And this is something that I want you guys to understand. This was back then, I was not spending a lot of money on ads. The prior 90 days of this month, I had spent $9,000 in ads in total, which means we had spent maybe 3 grand. But this is where I told you guys about leverage, okay? Let me go back to the exact importance of leverage. So, and this is the reason why I'm doing this call, guys, because it's so important. So the reason why we did 600 grand and 68% in margins is the following. The offer was so good that even though we were maybe booking a few calls, maybe like 100 calls a month, we would close like 25 clients, 30 clients out of this. Why? Because the offer was a no-brainer, right? It was like the offer was giving us so much leverage that if I believe that if I would have spent like 30 grand a month on ads, we could have made over $1 million that month, right? But I didn't. But it's a dumb thing I didn't do. It's okay. I learned my lesson. We're not perfect. But what I want you guys to do is to understand is the offer was the leverage. It was a lever. It allowed me to put the same amount of effort I had. And here's the thing. I had 2 closers, 3 setters, 4 setters. And I had maybe like 2 growth consultants, right? And then I had like a team of like 4 or 5 ops specialists, just to kind of like put everything together, the recruitment department, all that good stuff, right? So it was super leveraged. But the reason why we're doing this type of volume at this type of small scale is because of the offer, the build and release offer, right? I would give them everything they wanted. So exchanging 10 grand with me, it wasn't that bad for them, because at the end of the day, if they would have tried buying that from everyone else, they would have had to pay a growth consultant to refine their offer, or some coach out there. They would have had to pay an agency like 3K per month to run their ads or to run their outbound prospecting. They would have had to pay someone to help them with their sales. So at the end of the day, paying us was a steal, because they would get like 50, 100 grand worth of value from just 10 grand. Okay. Now, also the beautiful thing is, by me getting access to a lot more capital, it allowed me to do what? I would go out there just paying people, being like, hey, do you want to go join my team? Do you want to build this product? Do you want to get this insight out there? And then we would get clients better results. So it wasn't up to me to be the smartest person on the team. I had now money to be able to afford better talent who knew more than I did, which means client got better results, more case studies, and a higher closing rate. We eventually, that month, I think we achieved like a 40% closing rate on a 10K offer, which is ridiculous, right? And then I was working like 20 hours a week, okay? Now, the flywheel, here is how it works. You have a build and release offer on the front end. You give someone, you showed them how you do what? You solve the whole gap. So I'll try to show you guys right here. You solve the whole gap, guys. Solve the whole gap. Don't try to be a Facebook ad specialist. Don't talk about funnels. Don't talk about nothing. Okay? You're not even an appointment setting agency anymore. What you do is you come into a company and you change the hell out of everything that needs to be changed in order to get the customer, the client, the desired outcome. And you charge as much fucking money as you can. Okay? No more, I'm just an agency, I'm just a lead gen person. Stop being a lead gen agency. Like, guys, there's no money in lead gen. It's like AI is going to do lead gen better than you guys in 2 months. Maybe by next year. I mean, to be honest, Facebook ad can probably decide better than you. So I don't even know why you guys click buttons anymore, right? Stop, become leveraged. Stop being reliant on a commoditized scale that is like clicking buttons. Like, that's great, but eventually an AI will have a model where that's like, hey, I want to find this cost per lead, find me the best audience, here's the money, get me the thing I want. And AI is going to do better decision making than you can. I mean, it's already doing it. You guys are not doing the lead gen. The platform is doing it. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is solve the whole gap with a build and release offer. Do it in the first 2 to 4 weeks. Once you've done that, then you want to say, hey, we won't charge you for every month. We just are going to charge you one time and maybe percentage after that during management, but it's going to be 10 to 15 grand. Are you ready to roll? Yes. Okay, cool. Perfect. And then you take this money, then you go afford the best people. The best people at what? At offer building, at paid acquisition, at appointment setting infrastructure. Okay. And maybe even some systems. Then you don't have to do anything. The people who are smarter than you go and deliver the results. And when they deliver the results in the first 2 to 4 weeks, what happens? Then your clients are like, oh my God, thank you so much for changing my life. Now you have a high retention rate because the person who's gotten better results will want what? They will want even more value from you as long as you keep outgrowing your client faster. You don't want to just be someone who just knows how to book appointments. You eventually want to become a better business developer, because eventually your clients may outgrow you. But if you stay ahead of them, you will always have something to sell them better insights. Okay. So this is the flywheel, and this is how you get to 100K to 400K a month effortlessly. You decommoditize yourself with a build and release offer. You charge a lot of money. You hire the best people. The people get better results, your clients, and then you just retain them. I'm going to show you guys retention after. And this is what has worked in SaaS. Clients closing 10K, $52,000 offers, $14,000 upfront, and then lowest is what, like 21? Stupid young, right? Dan was in SaaS industry, was selling, I think he started out with short form content too at some point. He was struggling to sell like a 2K a month retainer. And then once he started doing build and release offers in the SaaS industry, 11K deal closed, 12K deal closed plus 15%. And now I think they're almost trying to charge 25K upfront, which is super, super insane, right? They started ads in less than 24 hours, had 5 leads, 4 are qualified. So, and then also I'm going to show you guys that when you're collecting this much money up front, your ad spend is not you who's paying it. The clients are paying you to acquire them. And then taking care of what? Your next acquisition cost. So that means that if you're getting $10 a lead and then it takes you $100 to book an appointment, and you spend $1,000 to book 10 appointments and you close 2 deals at 5K upfront or 10K upfront, let's say 10 to 20K, you just acquired 10 grand, 20 grand to do what? To take care of the liquidate the cost of 1 grand in spend. You have 9 grand to 19 grand left to go and fucking spend for more clients. So technically, you're just cycling through clients' money to make more money. You get paid to get paid. Does that make sense? Now, if you're selling a retainer service, how the fuck are you going to do that? Oh, I made 2 grand from this client. Oh my God, yeah, I'm excited. I have a contractor to pay. I have ads to pay. I have rent to pay. I have kids' school to pay. I have my cars, I'm trying to sell my cars. They're super expensive. Nobody wants to buy them. So now I have to liquidate the cost on a retainer service. I have to sell like 5 new clients, 5 new deals every month to try to even cover the cost of my cars or my rent. It doesn't make sense. You don't get rich off of selling retainers. On the front end is what I mean. We're going to talk about on the back end, of course. Okay. So let's keep going. And then same thing. Oliver serving lead gen agencies went from $500 to selling 5K up front. That's 10x efficiency. The same work, the client who would pay him $500 is now paying him $5,000. And then if you look at here, this works also in ecom, 9.5K done plus 10%, right? So coaches and consultants, Alex Pivinsky, 15K offer. She was not able to do 15K because the bank was rejecting the payment. You guys need to be charging so much amount of money that the bank cancels your offer. You're trying to charge your clients. If the bank has never canceled your clients trying to pay you, you're not charging enough money. Okay. Oliver, is Oliver still here? Is this good, guys? Are you guys enjoying the presentation so far?
You got to unmute Oliver. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm good. I just did it.
Hello.
Hello.
Go.
All right, beautiful. Okay, so I want to kind of like please drop comments, drop your feedback around today's chat. So I want to get Oliver in and just talk a little bit about Oliver. What I would want you to describe is essentially the transformation, or kind of like what you realized, because really when you joined the program, what we really did for you is first thing that we did, which was change your offer and build a better offer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that changed everything in your business. So I'd love to kind of like share before what you were doing and now how your business, how it has essentially impacted every single thing, not just, okay, you're making more money, but like how has your current backend changed and the way you run, how much you work from just changing and to a build and release offer on the front end?
Yeah, 100%. So I started maybe like 3-4 months ago. So I am relatively new to this space. I wasn't like super confident in myself. I'm like, I would see these big boys, these big players like Serge charging 10 grand up front. I'm like, what the hell? How can they justify that amount of money? So I started off charging 500 for my services, and it was basically like coaching for agency owners, like people wanting to start online businesses. And it was a good offer. Like people were buying it. It was dirt cheap for what I was offering, which is why like I was able to scale it to about 10, 20, and then 30K per month. But I reached a point in my business where it was like I was at this point where I was like, okay, I'm taking 8 calls per day, taking coaching calls every single day, fully, like my calendar was fully packed every single day of the week, not taking any days off. And because I was charging 500, I had zero leverage whatsoever to actually hire a closer, because what closer is going to work on a $100 commission basis, and then I didn't have enough money to hire coaches to help me with fulfillment, so I had to do it. So I was basically paying everything with my own time instead of hiring other people and sort of doing it that way. So at 30K, that's where I sort of reached that bottleneck where it's like, fuck, okay, I'm making 30K per month, I'm balling, like if someone asks me like, oh, how much money you're making, I say 30 and they think I'm the man. But once you actually see what it's like to run a 30K per month business on a low leverage offer, you're like Serge explained, you're basically like a prisoner to your business. Where like if something happens to you, God forbid, your business goes upside down, and there's no one that can basically take over for you. So
and when you joined, did you know that it was your offer the issue? Did you have a little bit of awareness, like, okay, I want to work with client acquisition area because I think I need to switch my offer? Or were you thinking like, oh, I just need more calls, more clients? Like, what was the thought process before you joined? Did you know?
Yeah, so like I was following you for a while, so I understood there was kind of 2 paths that I could take. Either I just do more of what I'm doing and just find a way to make it work, or I explore the other route of maybe offering something different and charging more money, because I could see clearly in my head, like, hey, if I offer this to my clients, I know I can get them better results. But with the 500 price point, there is no way I could actually do it because it's like I'd be working, for like
Yeah.
I can't be doing too much for 500 bucks. I gotta hold back a bit.
Yeah.
And I knew if I transition towards something where it's like, hey, if I offered all of these things and I had like a good price point to it, I could not only get better results for my clients, but also remove myself from the process and make more money in sort of the entire
Yeah.
thing. So yeah,
Okay.
when I
So
joined,
yeah.
it was the offer.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Perfect. Love it. Love it. And then right now, because before, how were you doing acquisition? Were you involved a lot in your own acquisition? How were you, or has anything changed around how you acquire clients now that you have access to more capital? Now you have access to more leverage?
So acquisition, I still use VAs, like appointment setters. That has been like our main source of
Yeah.
acquisition. That hasn't changed too much. Like yes, we've hired more people. We grew the team. I'd say the biggest difference is the closing. Before, I really was not able to outsource the closing, and that was what was taking like the bulk of my time. And
Yeah.
now, ever since I outsourced that part and the fulfillment, I'm literally not needed in the business. Like I can sit here for 3 hours and listen to you talk and not have to worry about running the company because I have people. So
Yeah.
I'd say it's the closing, being able to just to hire good talent and get better results from hiring better talent, and it's just
Yeah.
made my life easier.
Love it. Love it. And so right now, what's your goal in the next 90 days?
It was 100K per month, but Abyssus, someone in a program, challenged me to 150. So now we're gonna do 150 next month. That's the goal. That's the goal.
Jesus. Okay.
We'll see.
Cool.
We'll see.
Cool. Cool. So guys, what I want you guys to wait 1 second. Okay, cool. One thing that I want you guys to understand here is the following. Changing his offer allowed him to not have to sell anymore and not have to fulfill anymore. Okay? That's the thing that I want you guys to understand. Do not think that it's about client acquisition. It is not about client acquisition. And I keep saying this so many times, and I'm tired of you guys being sold to this idea that the way you're going to scale is booking more calls. No, it does not make any sense. Do not book more calls if you're like an Oliver solution where you're like, okay, I'm gonna spend 8 hours a day to try to sell. Okay, once you've collected the money, then what? Then what? Right? You need to get rich and afford talent. Get yourself out of the business as fast as humanly possible. What did I say at the beginning of this call? Presence is the fucking goal. I don't care if you're a hard worker. Who gives a fuck? Okay, good job, bro. You worked 12 hours a day yesterday. Wow, you're a superstar. You're a dummy. Only dummies spend 12 hours a day working, especially when there is technology, especially when there is Facebook ad, especially when you have access to YouTube, especially when you have access to all these offers. What are you doing working 12 hours a day? You think you're going to make $1 billion a year because you worked hard? No, it's about leverage. And leverage comes from really having money to leverage yourself out of work. Okay? That's the point of today's call. And, Steve, you're on this call, so maybe you also could share a little bit of your experience on changing, on just introducing more leverage to your offer and with a higher pricing.
Hey, what's up, Serge?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. So when I first started working with Serge at the beginning of the year, I was selling a $3,000 offer, which in hindsight was ridiculous and stupid. And then I did a price increase to 5,000, and that gave me a little bit more leverage. And then when I started working with Serge a lot more, we were able to increase the price to 10K. So I have a 10K offer. And with each step, I got better clients, because the better clients, you get more sophisticated, better quality clients when you charge more money. And maybe some of you are like, all right, so how could I go ahead actually charge a higher ticket. And it's because, like Serge said, you have to really solve all of the problems that your customer is having. And if you can anticipate the problems that your customer is having from every angle, then they're going to say yes. And even if they say no, they're going to be dreaming about how to say yes to you, because you are solving every part of their business problem. And so, yeah, I have a higher ticket product right now. It's a 10K. It is, I think, the best solution on the market for my industry. And when you have a higher ticket, when you have a higher ticket, I feel really confident behind it. So
Yeah.
anyway,
do you want to share what your niche is? Because a lot of people may not know.
Yeah, so I work with woodworking, lumber, sawmill, contractors.
Yeah, because a lot of people may just be confused and think that, okay, these higher ticket offers may just work in like people who are in the working online type of space. But no, guys, this works in whatever industry you go. You go after contractors, charge them shit ton of money, right? You're going after dentists, charge them a shit ton of money on the front end. And because, guys, you don't expect that a $1,500 a month subscription retainer as a dentist or as a contractor that is going to change your business around. No one who charges $1,500 is going to make you $100,000 a month. Like, you can put it a million different ways. Price dictates the perceived value. I'm sure you guys have seen that $600 bottle of wine. Is wine really worth $600? But do you know what? The billionaires, when they go to dinner, they're like, hey, what's the most expensive wine here? They're expecting it to be good. But just because they paid a lot of money, they're like, oh, it's actually better. No, it is not better, man. Buy that $11 at the 7-Eleven in your at the corner store, right? So by charging a lot more, it actually positions yourself. It kind of like, it changes the perspective of the process. They're like, why would this person be charging this much of money? Right? So, and one thing that I want to share for Steve is that with a 10K offer now, if clients need short form content, do you guys know what he does? Steve goes and finds a short form content agency owner. He's like, hey, I need you to deliver for my clients. Here's 2.5K. Deliver on these shorts. So now Steve is leveraged because he knows nothing about shorts. But guess what? He can still deliver shorts for his clients because what? He can afford to pay anyone to do shorts on behalf of his clients. Steve doesn't know how to set up GHL. He pays someone to come in and done for you build for cheaper, because building GHL is a commodity, right? Pays them a little $500, a little $1,000, launches. Steve wants his clients who paid him 10 grand to launch their ads, finds a contractor who can do media buying for $500, $2,000 a month to deliver and set up all the ads for all his clients. So now for 10 grand a month worth of salaries, he can deliver on what? 100 grand worth of new revenue. Do you guys see it now? You need money to remove yourself and give your clients better results. Okay. So, the next topic is going to be, I want to show you guys real quick. I want to show you guys how Hermosis did the thing with this offer, essentially. I want to show you guys real quick. Okay, so before I show you guys, I'm going to show you guys real quick. Okay, so now, how do you create your build and release? Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. So how do you create your build and release offer? It's really simple, guys. Okay. You need to do a pre-mortem exercise, right? If you guys know anything about my content, you guys have probably heard me say this, but you essentially make a list of all failure scenarios, everything that can potentially keep your clients from experiencing their desired outcome. And on the side, list mechanisms that would keep each failure outcome from ever happening. So the industry that they use this in is like the healthcare industry. So let's say someone gets goes through a surgery, and then they die, right? Doctors will do something called a postmortem. Well, they'll be like, hey, what went wrong? Right? Now, in this case, we can't afford to do it because we can't just get clients and fail them and then be like, oh, what went wrong? No, you actually need to do it before. So that's where the pre-mortem exercise comes in. You need to, it's a thought exercise where you're asking yourself, hey, what are all the scenarios that would keep my clients from seeing results in 2023? Whether that be a contractor, an agency owner, a coach, a consultant, a SaaS, it doesn't matter, okay? Now, let's try to do it for gyms, okay? And you guys will notice that like the offer we'll come up with is exactly what they were selling in 2020. And that's why they're still selling today. So now let's try to ask ourselves, what would keep a small gym owner from scaling and living a great life? Well, if they can't generate enough profits to make sense of being a gym owner, they would go out of business. Now, what would keep someone from seeing good results, good profits? Well, it's their offer. Most gyms, and this is a good lesson for you guys who work with maybe are in the gym space, most gyms model can't be profitable, okay? What I mean by this is they have maybe 100 to 120 membership capacity. So that's their capacity. So they can only tolerate or accept, handle 100 to 120 members. And this is like micro gyms. This is not like the Lifetime Fitness or whatever they call those gyms. So now if they're charging $100 per client or 125 a month, this is what ends up happening. The most they'll ever make is what? Like 12 grand to 15 grand a month, right? But the thing most people don't understand is they still have payroll to pay. So let's say 2.5K on salaries. They still have to pay rent, 3K on their gym facility. They still have to pay what? 1K on ads. They still have to pay what? 1K on miscellaneous stuff. They still have to pay, I don't know. So 3K, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5. And then they still have, what's maybe equipment, right? Let's say another 1.5K a month, right? Or whatever, right? They still need to pay other things, right? So now the gym profitability ends up being like 2K a month. And that's not including any admin assistant, any whatever. Like this is like traditional business model. Why would you go to a gym owner and be like, hey, I'm gonna get you more leads? It doesn't matter if you get them more appointments, more clients, their business breaks, because who would like to run a business only to make 2 grand a month, 20 grand a year, or 30 grand a year running a business? That's not a business. That's worse than even doing a job. So that's what, that's the first thing that the Hormozi were looking at. Like, hey, it doesn't matter if we can get leads and deals for these people. They just will never make enough money to sustain, keep to constantly be acquiring clients. So that's the first issue with most gyms. And that's the main issue with what? Most agencies, they're just selling retainers left and right, not understanding that eventually when you get enough client and you hire enough contractors, enough employees, you won't be making enough money. And that's where most people just go out of business. So that's the first issue. Now, if they can generate enough lead flow, that would also be a problem. If they can get leads to show up, that would be a big problem. If they can get leads to close on the phone, that's a big problem. If they can deliver quality experience service to new members, that's a big problem. Can't get members to stay after a few months, that would be a thing that would keep them from seeing success, okay? Now, who wants to see the offer by Hormozi going over exactly what I just covered? Put it in the chat. Just drop a chat. I'm going to show you guys right now. So I'm going to show you guys the offer. And funny enough, this is going to be exactly what I'm trying to show you guys, okay? So check this out. This is an ad from 2020. This is not new. And I want to show you guys exactly how they were positioning it, okay? So let's look at the first one. I'm going to change the audio so it's computer so you guys can hear it. You guys put in the chat if you guys can hear it, okay?
Gym owners and experienced fitness professionals, we've got tons of questions about our new performance partnership model for taking people online. All right. It's very simple. We do just about everything. You do one thing, and we split how much you make on the first month. It's very easy. So we'll run the creative, the ad, the copy, the images. We'll build the pages to collect the opt-in. We'll get them scheduled, and then we'll continue to work the leads to get them to show up for a phone appointment with you. This is the only piece that you do, which is sell them a free trial. After you do that, we split this first month. From this point going forward, you get every single one of the billings after that. Sound fair? Now, on top of that, you might be like, how do I actually fulfill these people? How do I know they're going to stay? How does it work? We built an automated fulfillment system where 80% of all of this is automated. So the workouts, the nutrition, the accountability, the messages, all of that is self-contained.
Okay, cool. Who wants me to replay it one last time? You want me to replay it? Okay, cool. Let's replay it one last time.
Gym owners and experienced fitness professionals, we've got tons of questions about our new performance partnership model for taking people online. All right. It's very simple. We do just about everything. You do one thing, and we split how much you make on the first month. It's very easy. So we'll run the creative, the ad, the copy, the images. We'll build the pages to collect the opt-in. We'll get them scheduled, and then we'll continue to work the leads to get them to show up for a phone appointment with you. This is the only piece that you do, which is sell them a free trial. After you do that, we split this first month. From this point going forward, you get every single one of the billings after that. Sound fair? Now, on top of that, you might be like, how do I actually fulfill these people? How do I know they're going to stay? How does it work? We built an automated fulfillment system where 80% of all of this is automated. So the workouts, the nutrition, the accountability, the messages, all of that is self-contained.
All right, cool. Now let's go back to it. So as you guys,
Your mic, Serge, you cut out.
all right, cool. So as most of you guys just saw, he essentially does what? He solves for every single issue in the acquisition channel, okay? Or acquiring clients. These are the main obstacles that I just showed you guys. And here is $16,000 in 16 weeks of gym launch offer. So they were selling a $16,000 offer, and here were the deliverables. The main thing they did is what? First thing they did is we'll build out your offer. He didn't put it in the actual ad, but this is exactly what he did. He would build a $600 upfront offer. He would position it as a 6-week challenge. $600 you pay. If you lose the weight, you can get a refund. Most people will never achieve that. So what ended up happening is the gyms would end up collecting what? Let me show you guys the issue, okay? I just showed you guys this math. Most gyms have 100 to 120 members capacity, right? So the most they'll ever make is 15 grand. Now, if you know that you're trying to get them to become really rich, what would you do? You would build a high front end build and release offer. So Hormozi would literally build a build and release offer for gyms. Now, the 6-week challenge was what? You get the training, you get the nutrition, you get the support, you get the accountability, you get the food, you get the meal prep. If you're going out to dinner, we'll tell you what food to order. They literally created a build and release offer for gyms, allowing them to charge 6 times as much money on the front end than they would normally charge to regular members. Now, what ends up happening is the same people who are struggling to make 15K per month do what? They sell 600 and they sell 30 of these. What ends up happening when you're selling a 600 times 30? You end up making what? 18 grand on the front end. More money than these gym owners have ever made in their entire lives. And this would be what? In like 2 to 4 weeks. Right? So Hormozi would increase the profit of these businesses, because it doesn't matter how Hormozi was good at getting leads and appointments. And this is the thing that I want to push down everybody's mind. It doesn't matter if you're good at client acquisition. If you're not good at building good models, a business that is actually scalable, It doesn't matter how many leads you get me. If I'm capped here, I can't scale it. I'm just going to say, stop the ads. I can't support any more clients. So the thing that made Hormozi a superstar in the gym industry is that he would come in and help gyms charge more money up front. And then the next thing he would do is he would build what? The ad creative, the ad, the funnel, the sequences to nurture, and then get the leads to show up on appointments, right? Solve the lead appointment setting. He would solve the show up rate issue. He would solve the sales process. He would give them a sales script that works. And then guess what? If people couldn't fulfill on these new clients because they don't know how to fulfill and build and release offers, then he would do what? He would build an automated fulfillment system. The check-ins were already pre-built. The nutrition, the meals were already pre-built. What to do after, what to eat at the restaurant, what was already pre-built for the gyms that he was selling in his program. And then an automated system built for them. And then also for retention, he would build a retention and ascension model where 60% of everyone who paid the $600 to join the challenge would actually stick on what? On not $120 thing. He would build offers where the retention offer was like $199, $399, and some of it was like $600 to $700 a month. So the beautiful thing, which I'll show you guys later, is when you sell someone a $600 membership, the retention offer, the retainer, can also be increased because that person was anchored at a higher price. Okay? They already like, hey, I've already spent $600 with you. I'm not going to charge you $100. If I charge you $199 for the same value or even more, you're going to be like, yeah, please, let's do it, right? And guys, this is how Gym Launch scaled the hell out of the industry, right? Because they could make the gym more money. They could run the same ads, better ads, and it would just do everything for them, right? So if you guys want to go in the gym space and kill it, take this offer and go to gyms. I promise you, you guys are going to make more money. I mean, to be honest, this is a $50K a month business in and of itself. This is a $50K a month offer because the gym industry is pretty big, right? And one thing that I want you guys to know is all of this is stuff that can be automated or pre-built. So it's done for you, but is it really? And that's where you get what? Leverage in fulfillment. To make $1 million a month selling to gyms. Well, to be honest, Gym Launch is a coaching business. It's not actually, they don't claim that they're a done for you business. They don't actually do any of that. They're just a coaching. But how have you guys ever seen a coaching business that pitches the same way that Hormozi just pitched in that ad? No. He's not selling, oh, I'm going to help you start a $100K a month business. He's saying, I'm going to build you the ad. I'm going to build you the funnel. I'm going to build you the offer. I'm going to give you the script. I'm going to give you the fulfillment, because even though they're a coaching business, they understand that I can't sell someone coaching. I got to sell them something that is perceived as with the highest likelihood of achievement, and that is done for you. So how is a coaching business selling done for you? Because that's the only way you make a shit ton of money in this space, at least. Okay? So please pay attention to that. All right, cool. So who would, some of you guys may be in SaaS, so let's go over a little SaaS example. Okay, so this is the exact same offer or same deliverables we're selling for like 15K, 12K, 20K in the SaaS industry. So we make a list of all the failure scenarios that would keep a SaaS company from scaling, not generating enough attention, weak offer deliverables leading to high churn, relying on their website to do the entire conversion rate of the traffic, no funnel, focusing on top of funnel acquisition without having a nurturing and sales sequence, lack of action plan leading to the test, different to shiny ways of acquiring clients, founders wearing different hats in the business, weak and unclear onboarding process, lack of marketing and sales assets, lack of testimonials and proof, social proof, adding more friction to the sales process, burning their small audience, pitching every time and time again, no feedback loop for product optimization, no tracking system for the client journey or product usage, marketing all features, no core outcome, no clarity on what the market segment they have to target, lack of high converting VSL, lack of support and group support, weak or non-existing sales process after getting a free trial, relying on non-personalized mass organic acquisition systems. And guess what? you build and release every single mechanism that gets them to avoid what? Every single failure scenario. This is done for you, but these are things that you build once and then you release a billion times. Does that make sense? Done for your ads launch. If you have proven ads, if you have proven copy, if you have proven this, you build it once, you plug and play every time. Week offer deliverables, top of funnel acquisition, onboarding process, everything can be built once and released. Coaches and consultants. Who's here selling to coaches and consultants? Put it in the chat. Cool. So most coaches and consultants, in my opinion, their offer is shit. If I was okay, so first of all, most coaches and consultants, or most coaches really, they sell things they want to sell. If you're a coach on this call, let me give you an advice, okay? Nobody cares, okay? We just don't care. Unless you're a superstar. Guys, if you're not a superstar, do not go sell some things you like, okay? The Rock could sell a coaching program around how to wake up in the morning and he'll make $1 billion, right? He could literally sell a 10K routine program. But for someone without status, without an audience, do not sell bullshit things like, oh, I'm gonna get you your mindset right. Oh my fucking God. Mindset, bro? Are you serious? If Iman Gadzhi sells mindset, yes. Why? Because he has 15 models who follow him around. He's buying every car every week. He's buying a Richard Mille every week. He has he's flying to Cape Town and he's flying to Dubai, then he's going to an island. He's on a yacht for the summer. I want his mindset. If you don't have that positioning, you do not sell things that have no direct like it doesn't have a direct ROI. Okay? If you want to do that, achieve amazing level of success, then sell some whatever you want to sell. Okay? That's why most coaches are broke and only 1% make billions and billions of dollars every year. It's not about the thing you sell, it's your positioning. But for us, for me, I'm selling problems. I'm like, hey, you don't have calls? I'm going to get you the calls. I'm like, hey, you work with me, I'm going to add 50 grand a month in the next 90 days. Hey, maybe I have some status a little bit here and there, but I'm not yet at the point where I want to sell mindset. I'm not there yet. Okay. I don't know if enough people like me. Okay. So that's super. I think, guys, sell like tangible, like you want to sell something that is undeniably valuable. Okay. And I think growth is undeniable. Okay. So now, most coaches and consultants, if I was to start working, if I got into a business, I'll be like, hey, let's change your offer. Let's do something to build and release. Even if you're coaching, the same way that Hormozi was coaching gyms on how to scale, I would position it as a build and release. So the first thing here I would put, which we haven't put here, is change their offer to a build and release. And guys, I'm giving you guys the build and release framework, so you guys just copy and paste, go make your money. And then the next thing is lack of attention. They need to at least be getting to 300 to 1,000 people a day. Right now, we're recommending content and ads, right? Which is a little, something that's leveraged. I don't suggest you guys go the route of building outbound teams because it's super complex. Okay. I wouldn't get you unless you have a really good team. You're not going to be able to build, because for us, we got to a point where we're placing 100 setters a month, and that requires, again, like I said, operational excellence. So do not place setters. Lack of attention. So content and ads, super easy. Owning attention, lead magnet, email list, Facebook group. So I'm actually tomorrow, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can build a funnel to own all the attention, all the data from Facebook. Not having a nurturing sequence, build email sequences, case studies, content, CTAs, call to actions in a sequence. We have a quasi-periodic email sequence that we build for our clients. Low quality leads coming through. Improved targeting, messaging, qualification questions, qualifying through DMs. Never waste time with an unqualified prospect. Struggling to convert and handle all the attention. Place one growth specialist. do some retargeting ads, and do some SMS. Inconsistencies in lead flow, paid ads, and outbound setting. Struggling to deliver and retain clients, consulting their offer and their delivery process. Help them build and release offer. Charging too low ticket, consult them on pivoting their offer and turning it into 10K upfront offer. Not having enough time to create marketing assets, take the lead on this. Create ideas, create the lead magnets, create the 2 steps, the attention generating sales assets. Okay. Not being able to sell, place a closer, right? Guys, for us right now, every client in GCP, we're actually removing them from selling. I genuinely believe that although sales is amazing, you should stop burning all the leads you're acquiring. Stop selling if you know you're shitty at closing. Stop that. Give someone the ability to collect the money for you and just charge enough money where every close that happens, that guy makes $1,000. And I promise you, that person, that girl, that guy is going to be so much greater at cash collecting on that call. Okay. So for us, if you ever work with us, we're actually going to help you remove yourself from selling. No more. I don't care. I don't really care. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to build a business. So why would you care about becoming a great salesperson? Right? So let's just become leveraged. Too many paths. Build a scam plan for that prospect, for that client. Okay. Local and solar. So this is an example of a solar build and release offer. So the solar industry, maybe they're not getting enough leads, not struggling to get leads into qualified appointments. So you would build a done-for-you qualification process, lead opt-in, call, qualify, appointment. You would build like an infrastructure, maybe one GS, one setter can take care of getting all the leads that come in to qualify them, right? Not following up with the leads, done for your follow-up. So this could be automated. You can also have one setter, that same setter solve that issue. Leads not showing up to appointments, done for you, 90, 60, 30-minute call reminders. Long sales cycles from lead to close. It takes a lot of time. Scheduling in the highest quality leads for your clients and removing window shoppers. No organic presence. Done for your profile optimization, template, Google reviews. No organic presence. No, website not converting organic leads, done for you, plug and play, landing pages via GHL. Again, these are things we build once and you just plug and play for every client. No CRM in place. Right now, we're building snapshots for clients that they can use, not utilizing their old list, that done for you reactivation campaign and add bonuses to increase value. Unable to sell, done for you salesperson hiring. You can also help them hire or get candidates to close deals. It's also super easy. We can show you guys how to build talent acquisition funnels. Not charging enough for service, consultant creating better offer to create better bundles and packages. No systems in place for scale, done for your systems, consulting on systems. Not attractive referral system, done for your referral system is going to be super good for local businesses. Okay. And this is something you build once and then you deliver for our clients. E-com niche build and release. We had a client who's doing like $1 million a month, who was looking to start a kind of like a growth consulting offer in e-com and not necessarily just rely on selling products. So we were like, hey, what about targeting brands that are doing 30K per month and we're trying to get them to 100K per month and above? And then we asked ourselves, what would keep someone from experiencing this outcome? Well, the first thing that would keep someone from scaling is their margins are so small they can't reinvest in growth. So the next thing you do is you change what? The pricing model and frameworks. Okay. The next thing is no content creation and distribution machine. So you would do what? Systems for them to acquire creators and SOPs on sending products, shooting and delivering content. And maybe the niche that they're in is super competitive, right? You're going after the wrong market segment. So then he would build a framework around how to build brands and sell products that customers keep on buying month after month. You want a high frequency of purchase if you're an e-com. If you're just selling a $30 product and the person only does business with you once, then you're crazy. So this client was in the skincare and hair care industry. Why? Because consumers buy this every single month or every other month, every other week. So the best thing you could do to an e-commerce founder is tell them, hey, stop being dumb and selling things that only people buy once and go in an industry where there is recurring, right? And then the next issue that would keep an e-commerce brand from scaling is that they're doing everything themselves, shipping products, no talent, no team, no automations. So this guy had already like a team and a fulfillment center. So we were like, hey, we can help you source talent to remove you from operations, fulfillment, and customer support. Imagine how valuable this would be for a brand. And look at how I'm going over this offer. Compare this to an agency that's like, hey, we help brands go to 7 figures with Facebook ad. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, you think you're going to get 10 grand from a brand because you run Facebook ad? That's insane. Nobody does that anymore. But look at how complex this offer I'm walking you guys through. 90% of people on this call can't fulfill on this. I even wouldn't be able to. But that's what it takes to make a shit ton of money. You actually do complex shit. If you're wondering, oh, I'm a beginner, how do I do this? Well, you don't. You don't. Why would you expect for someone to pay $10,000 for you to do something you don't know how to do? 10 grand is a lot of money. 15 grand, especially if you're going to get also rev share, you got to be doing things that are undeniably valuable, right? Anyway, so this is I think some people confuse like, oh, you get rich easy. No, you don't. You don't. You actually got to be a superstar in your industry, in your niche. So pricing, help them with creating higher average order values, creating bundles, frameworks and bundling frameworks, upsells, nurturing sequence. They're not able to nurture their existing list and audience, email flows, SMS flow, retargeting ads, not acquiring enough new customers and eyeballs, ads, shadow, influencer marketing. Conversion rates are shit on the website, audit their website and just improve the thing, okay? I had someone who was who bought the VIP ticket who wanted to kind of like share the closer pivoting to closing agency. Anybody are you here? Yeah, Basil just said, Bazel just said, screw growth creating. I want to know how to collect 30 mil from a course like Iman Gadzhi. We're going to be talking about audience building because you don't make 30 mil off a course unless you have leverage. And the reason why Iman is leveraged is because he eventually started by actually being good at something. He didn't just become a YouTuber and no, he actually built a business, right? So you don't go from, and also this is the thing, the same way that you're not going to deserve 10 grand for doing nothing is the same way that you're not going to build $1 million subs or even 10,000 subs on YouTube being worthless. So there's no skipping being good. The price of having a following, the reason why we had 300 people on this call is not because I'm out here YouTube just reading books and then like putting a camera in the webcam on the Google Docs and getting people here. There's 271 people on this call, guys. You guys had other things to do. But the reason why you guys value being here is because you guys believe that the time invested in being here is going to be worth it. There's no cheat code to that. You actually got to be fucking good to get 271 people listening on a call for 2-3 hours. So Basil, you're like, you want to make 30 mil? Are you worth the attention? I don't know. You tell me. Are you worth 30 mil? Sorry. So you actually got to be worth it. There's no cheat code. So this, I'm probably going to be talking about it maybe on a VIP day, right? Cool. So now, how do you sell this? I'm going to go quickly on this so that we don't spend a lot of time. I'm going to go over the how to sell it and then how to price it. Pricing is going to be really good for you guys. So the perfect delivery. Clarify that you're not a commodity. Showcase how you solve every obstacle. So the beautiful thing with the build and release is when you build like a process selling VSL, you demonstrate how you go about solving everything. So as an example, you just show them like, hey, if you're a SaaS business, this is everything you need. Who wouldn't want to buy or get on a call with you for this, right? No one. At least if they can see that they can just buy from one person and solve every problem that they've ever and will ever experience, then that's how you get a lot of money and you get people buying. So this will keep you from being a commodity, and you can actually start criticizing other agencies or other consultants. You're like, hey, why would you go buy from a coach when he's just going to teach you a few things? Or why would you go work for an agency that's just going to media buy, right? Why would you just want leads when your pricing model is broken? Why would you just want leads if you don't have no follow-up sequence? Why would you want leads if you don't have a team of setters reaching out to those leads in 5 minutes, right? So you have a lot of angles to sell. People want results in an end date. So you'll be able to charge 2 to 3 times more if you sell your service with a defined end date. Okay. Which is why we call it a program. A lot of people think that, let's say like the Growth Creator program, that it's a coaching program because we call it a program. When I say program, I'm not saying that it's a program. Like, you don't actually need to tell your clients, you don't need to give your clients any, I'm gonna show you guys real quick, okay? And this is something that I want you guys to understand. A growth program or a program does not need to be, how can I say it? It doesn't have to be like a coaching business, okay? So I'll show you guys what it looks like. On GCP, what we like to do is every single client has a channel, right? So what this means is you're not working with, it's not like a group coaching, right? Even though we're leveraging information, like Oliver still has content to go learn, right? Everybody has to go learn stuff. But what's beautiful is we're also working one-on-one with each client, with each brand, so that we can scale them, right? To have access to growth consultants. So it's not a coaching program. And this is where I want you guys to understand, just because I'm getting you guys to do a build and release offer, I'm not saying become coaches, okay? I'm generally saying the program is just a defined end program, right? And launch date, September 22, leads generated 271, total calls booked 65 calls since in the last 10 days. This is what you guys want to see, okay? Anyway, I'm not trying to sell you guys yet. I'm gonna sell you guys at some point though. All right, cool, perfect. So check this out. Bonus stack. Most prospects will come in for one thing. So as an example, when we're selling calls, we're not selling this whole thing. Like, we're not saying, oh, we're gonna get you all this. No, because people would get overwhelmed, right? But when they get on a sales call, what you want to do is you want to like unbundle and showcase each deliverable as a separate mechanism. This will increase the perceived value of your offer. So what do I mean by that? Okay. Well, you can go to a SaaS company and be like, hey, done free ads and launch and management would cost you $3,000 a month with an agency, right? Done for you landing page build would cost you another 2.5 or 3K. Done for you sales process and funnel building would cost you what? Another 10K or 5K. Done for you acquisition, done for you social optimization, VSL structuring, free trial, member community building, appointment setter placement. If the SaaS founder tried to hire and buy these services separately, they would end up spending $50,000. Okay, so that's where when you anchor them on the real cost of trying to buy every single mechanism outside, it would actually end up being super expensive. So you stack the bonuses, and that's why when I say when you go pitch the 15K offer, it is actually a steal for them. Okay. And then you also want to add scarcity, clarify that there is limited supply, because you generally cannot help everyone. You can't just, it's not a course. It's not like you can just sell 50 people in a month and make 500 grand and be like, oh yeah, I'm dialed in. No, you're not going to be able to fulfill. So you can just say, hey, we can only onboard one new client per week, because it takes, let's say the build and release takes like 2 to 4 weeks. Okay. Urgency. When you make the offer, you want to say, hey, we just got off a call today. Instead of you being 20K, you can get started at 10K, and we can just get started on percentage performance for the following 2 months, right? So let's say you sell it as a 90-day thing, and then upfront is like 15K, and everything else is on performance. Or you can also sell a retainer if you want. But you can just say like, hey, if you don't want this offer today, when you come back, it's going to be 15, 20 grand. So it's up to you, right? And when they do come back after the offer has been made, you generally charge the 15, 20K offer. You do not, it's not like fake scarcity or fake urgency. You generally increase the price on them, okay? Guarantee. Provide a conditional guarantee if after 90 days we have made, if after 90 days we haven't made you your initial investment and we've implemented every mechanism, we'll happily refund you. The importance with conditional guarantee is the following. You don't want to be like, oh, we're just going to do a build and release, and every time you buy it, you're going to be successful. No, you want to be like, hey, this is everything we're going to build. These actions need to happen in order to make it inevitable for these outcomes not to happen. If any of these conditions are not met, the condition doesn't apply. The guarantee does not apply. That way, it protects you, the agency, the consultant, the growth, whatever. And it also keeps the client accountable. Be like, hey, we need to create a VSL. If the VSL has not been created after 90 days, you don't refund them because they did not deliver on the thing you said that was required. If they don't get a setter reaching out to every lead in 5 minutes, the setter that you place in their company, that is not your problem. Okay? So that makes it so that you're giving them a no-brainer offer on the front end, but you're also protecting yourself on things that are not being done. Okay? And that's how you kind of like protect yourself. Cool. Does it make sense? Leave a chat if it makes sense on how to kind of like sell it. Cool. Pricing structure. Here's the following. Pricing, media buyer. So essentially, this is how you could kind of like position it. Is like if you need a media buyer, if you need VAs, if you need marketing, a branding consultant or agency, 8K if you need someone to dial in your operations, if you need someone to build your 7-figure systems. So you're really delivering a lot of value for just 15K, right? Now, due to how much value is in the build and release offer, you can ask for a lot more, right? A lot more money. Now, how do we justify charging someone 10, 15 grand upfront plus a percentage or a retainer on the back end? The answer is potential. We charge 10% of the potential of the infrastructure and the probability of experiencing the outcome. What does that look like? And guys, please pay attention to this, because if you want to start charging a lot of money, you're going to need to understand this. You want to do the following math. So let's say you guys come in and like you guys join GCP, okay? And I know that if we give you guys a build and release offer and we launch your ads, we place the setter in your businesses, we help you guys set up your systems, okay? I know that I can easily add you guys an extra 25K per month in the next 30, 60 days, okay? What I will do is I will times that by 12 months. And then I'll go to you guys and be like, hey, easily, like the lowest bar, I can add an extra 300K a year for you if we implement everything. But I know that not every client is going to be able to add 300K. So I come up with the probability of like, hey, maybe, but we know that at least half of everyone can achieve it if we implement everything. So now what ends up happening is we come up with this formula. Yearly revenue potential times probability of outcome, okay? Then we charge 10% of that upfront fee for your build and release. So that means that 300K times 50% of it happening, and we just want 10% of the probability and the potential, which means we charge 15K upfront, and the performance fee is 10 to 25% of revenue or profit, depending on how your clients wants to do it, okay? Now, with the right offer, okay, which is the lever in the fulcrum, which creates the leverage in your company, you get to charge more than anyone else in your industry. No more, oh, it's 3 grand a month. No more, no. If I know I can make you, let's say as an example, like the hundreds, if you ever become a partner, like I know that I can easily add you, like we've had clients who have gone from like 30K a month to 180K in 30 days, 60 days. So if I know that I can easily add you at 1.2 mil a year, I'm not going to charge you less than 100 grand, right? Now, it doesn't have to be 100 grand up front, but it has to be, it's based on the potential that I can add you, right? And the probability. Now, the beautiful thing is this offer also, you know, you give them the biggest dream outcome. It looks like it's the highest perceived likelihood of achievement. Why? Because you're not just selling Facebook ad. You're not just selling appointment setting. You're selling a solution to every single risk they have in their business. Okay? Now, the perceived likelihood is super, super high. And then time and delay and effort, sacrifice. Guys, every single thing I just showed you guys on the build and release, at least for us, how we do it, in 2 to 4 weeks, you have everything. So time delay is the fastest way to experience things, because I'm not getting you to build everything for you. I'm not asking you to go through a course and become a superstar from learning yourself. I'm not asking you to go and set up your GHL sales snapshot. No, we've already built everything. Just integrate your calendar. And if you have an issue, just ask your systems integrator in your channel to help you troubleshoot whatever. So the effort and sacrifice on behalf of our clients is close to zero. That's when you charge as much money as you want, because you're also delivering more value than anybody else in your industry. Okay? And this is how you guys get leverage on your offer. And this is step number one. This is step number one to getting where? To $500,000 a month. Okay? Now, one last thing before we end this, I want to show you guys how Gym Launch was able to take this from the 16K to building $1.6 million in recurring revenue. Who wants, guys, do you understand? So Gym Launch had 500 gyms paying them 3.2K per month. That's 1.6 mil with 1% churn. A coaching business with 1.6 mil in recurring revenue. How do you explain that? How the fuck do you explain that to me? Like, please, I'm like, when I read that, I was actually on a plane. I was going to Rwanda, I think, after a Spain trip. And I was just going through 2018 Hormozi material. I was like, he's saying that, oh, so we have 1% churn and each client is paying around 3.2K. And we have like 500 clients paying us that. I did the math. I'm like, are you kidding me? I've never heard Hormozi talk about this. He's never talked about MRR. He's never talked, I mean, he's good at building offers, but I'm like, come on, man, you could have at least shared this. A lot of people are broke because we're just focusing on acquisition. So here is the thing. Because you're selling a 16K package up front and you're delivering a tremendous amount of value on the front end fast enough, people get results faster. When people get results faster, they incur new problems. Who's going to solve those problems for them? The same business that created the success in the first place. So he who gets the clients the results the fastest gets to keep that client on a consistent basis. And I want to show you guys this flywheel because this changed everything for me when I learned it. So this is called downsell the upsell. So you charge, let's say 15K and 15% upfront. And then when the 90-day program or the 4-month program or the 6-month program ends, you end up being like, hey, you just got done with this 15K. You added an extra 30K, 50K, 100 grand a month in your business, but you're going to need help with managing your team. You're going to need to recruit more people. You're going to need to build new funnels. You're going to need to add more, a better way to ascend your clients, right? What if we can build you all of the next things that you need and show you everything that you need? Maybe we'll give you the best performing ads every week, every month. You will never need anything that you can't acquire, only for 3K per month. Guys, what do you guys think happens when you give someone who's paid you 16 grand the opportunity to pay 3K a month? Is that a hard sell? Not really. Especially if you've added what? 50 grand, 100 grand a month for them. How easy is it to be like, hey, I have this new value, a bunch of more value. I'll give it to you. All you just need to do is just sign up for our recurring retainer. That's how they did it. Okay? They stacked 500 people on retainer and started making $1 million in MRR, right? And so this was their model, right? So check this out. Front-end offer, 16K. Build and release, most attractive offer in the marketplace due to speed of results. High ticket, 16K. That means that they had insane levels of profits. They could hire talent. They were spending 100 grand a month on ads. For what? Just to find the best proven ads in every single market for gyms. Imagine that. Imagine that. That's what I mean by like, you need to get rich so you can afford to acquire insights that your clients will never be able to afford to acquire. Okay? When you spend 100 grand on ads, you find the best performing ads. So now the client who's working with you gets the best ads that work, and then they just get to scaling, right? Gym Launch was so good at getting people results that they would literally, eventually they got stopped just getting people to pay 16 grand upfront, and they just started getting people in at 1K a month or 1K upfront. Why? Because they had so much retention going on that they didn't actually care how much profit they were making on the front end, right? They reduced they lowered the barrier of entry. Now, I don't want to confuse you guys with all this stuff, but for now, just know you need a build and release offer, get people a shit ton of results, and then you want to offer them retention and continuity, which they built a second layer of their offer, which called Gym Lords. And Gym Lords essentially accessed all the insights that Gym Launch was getting from spending on ads. So every single time, these gym owners were spending 3.2K a month, but they were getting access to $100,000 worth of research every month. And that's why they had 1% churn, because every week, every month, they get access to new value. Okay. And then this is how they were able to stack. But the mistake that I want you guys to understand, this is the mistake with most businesses. They try to get people on the retention right away. You try to get people on retention right away, but your retention offer is not even that fucking valuable. So what ends up happening is people churn after 30 days, 60 days. What you need to do is deliver, make people rich on the front end, and then offer them continuous value in a leveraged way. It can literally just be information. It could just be systems, okay? And that's how you retain people, okay? Would you like to be able to get clients paying you 15K upfront on performance and qualifying them to start paying you 3K a month afterwards? So for everyone here who's worried about, oh, I don't want to sell one-off fee because I don't have retention. You do have retention, but you do not want to retain someone who hasn't seen results. Who here has signed clients and you're holding on to them? You're like, oh, please don't leave. We're going to try another month. We're going to try to get you results. And then they're just a pain in the ass. You just wake up stressed. You're like, fuck, I know I'm not getting them results. Deep down, you go to bed, you're like, oh, he's going to leave. He's going to leave. Guys, why are you guys still working with those people? They're taking away bandwidth in your mind. You can't think. You can't build a great company because your mind is worried about trying to keep $2,000 a month. Are you serious? Stop focusing on that. That's the wrong thing to worry. Solve $200,000 a month problems, not $2,000 a month, right? So you start with a high ticket and expensive program. You take the profits you got it from it. You build an amazing team. Maybe you access clientacquisition.io. I'm just saying. And then that team delivers great results fast. You make your clients rich, then you retain them, not the other way around. Not, oh, come in, it's 3K per month, and then we're going to make money. No. We don't do none of that because it's the wrong way to do things. Okay? Cool. Perfect. All right. So here is why in 2023, you need a build and release offer. The biggest threat today, right now, in my opinion, for everyone, for the 250 people staying, by the way, thank you guys so much for staying for 2 hours. It was supposed to be 90 minutes, but we're still going to go because getting rich is not easy, right? And nobody got rich for 90 minutes worth of work. Okay, so here's the thing. The more agencies, the more Iman goes crazy. He has 3 million subs now. Guys, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. We are in trouble. Okay? Joel Kaplan, 500,000 subs on Instagram. Guys, these people are getting more famous and more famous on TikTok, right? So if you think you're going to make money, $100,000 a month because you're a lead gen agency, because you can only get people leads, because you can only get people appointments, because you can only build go high level funnels, oh my God, I would be worried. Okay. I would probably suggest you go get a job. But anyway, so check this out. The more competition, the harder it will be to get above the noise. Okay. The build and release offer allows you to acquire clients faster and serve them even faster if your operations are what? Dialed. Okay. And then from that pool of clients, you get to retain the best of the best, right? I have clients who pay me $5,000 a month. And every week, I'm just like, hey, man, let's just try this strategy. And just me telling them, hey, let's just try this strategy. They try it. They go out an extra 50K per month. But the only reason why me just telling them to do this one thing and they implement it would work is if the foundation has already been built from the build and release offer in GCP. Okay, that from us building everything, their offer, their acquisition, and helping them with their fulfillment allows me to retain clients because I've already solved the get rich problem. Now it's about let's now build sustainability. Okay. Cool. And then the old model of selling retainers isn't sustainable because the cost to acquire a client is going up faster than the market's financial capabilities. Guys, we are in a recession. I don't know if someone hasn't told you guys, but it's getting harder to collect a lot of money from people. So if you're just thinking that you're just going to charge $3,000 a month and you're going to take 1K of that and spend on ads and acquire the next client, it doesn't work like that. Eventually, the cost to acquire a client will literally be thousands of dollars, right? So if you're just selling retainers, you make no profit on the front end. You end up with an average team that delivers average results. You lose your clients. You end up running around after new clients as a temporary solution. And this is where you become. And this is where I was in 30K a month. If you're at 30K a month, I promise you, until you change your model and get profits on the front end, forget it. Just stop your business and just do something else. Just become a TikToker. You know, who are those TikTokers who keep talking and just get paid for making weird noise on TikTok? You have more probability of becoming rich off of that than selling retainers. So go dance. If you're a woman and maybe you're beautiful, just go on TikTok or do something like that. Okay. So check this out. What I want you guys to do is, so step one is stop the slavery flywheel, get off of it. Okay. You're not going anywhere. Good job. Just like I was in 2020, in 2021, I was proud that I had finally made 30K a month. Okay. I was like, wow, I just did it. But within me, I was like, oh my God, I have a bigger problem. I have such a big problem that I don't even know if this 30K a month business is worth it. Okay. So you stop that, go build and release. Okay. And then have a build and release, charge high ticket, afford talent. And then we're going to talk about ascension models eventually. Okay. So the homework is going to be do the pre-mortem exercise, find all the failure scenarios, and then hypothesize on the potential mechanism that can help your niche avoid failure scenarios. Okay. If you do this, make a video about it, and then go literally send it as a prospecting tool, right? And then tomorrow we're going to talk about how I accidentally made $1 million in 90 days with 6,000 subs. Okay. If you guys found this helpful, please let me know in the chat. How much would you charge for the whole e-com offer? Time invested must be worth it, especially at 3 a.m. Love it. I hope it was worth it, Alan. I need to figure out all things my prospects want and all the problems. Yep, that's the exercise. The guarantee is conditional to protect us, correct? If anyone needs a recording, bro, Vinay is trying to see Vinay, why are you trying to make Vinay? Are you crazy? You're trying to make $2. See, you're focused around the wrong problem. You're trying to sell recordings. Come on, man. Sell, build, and release offers. Stop selling recordings of something that's gonna be probably almost free, right? See, you're focusing on the wrong thing, but maybe you're trying to be nice. Okay. Hey, Serge. So if I'm an absolute beginner, if you're an absolute beginner, join the Natural Born Leader community. I'm going to be dropping some programs to acquire skills because you're not going to be able to pull this off unless you understand some skills. How much does client acquisition cost? If you guys want to work with us, you know, you guys can just message me on Instagram and then we can talk about this. And I'm not going to sell you guys. This is just generally, I just wanted to give you value today. Okay. See you in GCP. Yeah, hopefully one day you guys will come and work with us. Okay. By the way, GCP this month is actually we're starting a partnership. So that means that for GCP clients, if you guys ever want to join GCP, it's not a program. It's more like a partnership. So you get started. We build your offer. We build your acquisition, and we actually want to be involved in the upside. If we get you guys to 30K, 50K, 100 grand a month, we actually want a percentage of that growth. So we're not going to go with high volume of program people because I care more about finding really superstar talented entrepreneurs over selling a program, right? Like I don't want to churn through you guys. I actually would like for you guys, for us to build just the same way I build client acquisition that I do to $500,000 a month. Come work with us. Whoever is in the coaching space, whoever is in solar, whoever is in the SaaS, come work with us. We build out the offer, right? We give you the infrastructure and you just scale it to $500,000 a month. That's really where I want to go. So when you guys think of GCP, do not think this is a coaching program trying to be sold to you guys. It's not the case. I'm trying to get you guys rich so I can get rich and make sure I can take care of my team, right? But that's not the goal of today's call. Today's call was really about building release offers. And yeah, who's excited for tomorrow? The homework is just do the pre-mortem exercise, okay? If you want the recording of this, buy the VIP ticket, okay? Just can someone put the link to the VIP ticket here? Just you guys can just go buy the VIP ticket and you guys will get access to the recording. It will be available. We'll try to get this recording up probably in the next 24 hours. And then for everyone who bought the VIP ticket, you guys will for sure get access to the recording, okay? And we'll also give you guys access to what? The Google Doc of everything that I'm kind of like building on, okay? Thank you guys so much for joining today. I hope I delivered. I'm glad this didn't last more than like 2.5 hours. And see you guys tomorrow, same time, same schedule. Let's roll. Appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.